Well, hello everyone. Hello. Hello and welcome. Hi everyone. Hi, my three puppy dogs. Exciting day. Exciting day in this world. I've made pathways. I hope you're not mad at me. I'm also at my cabin. So I know maybe I shouldn't say it. It's a new keyboard setup. It's a new mouse. But I have to address it, I feel like, because I have my window cracked right now, so you might hear birds. Look, I've made paths. I've given away too much. No, I had a little bit of fun. Not fun, actually. This was my, like, everything in my life is falling apart, so let me just log on to Minecraft and make pathways. Oh, and the water! Oh my gosh, the lake is new. I haven't shown you. Yeah, I've had a bad couple weeks. But what was I gonna say? I was gonna say that you might hear the birds out the window, but it also might just read as like white noise, and I might close the window next time. Also my chair. There's like a saga with this. We'll get into it. This is not important. Let's show off the lake. So I've made pathways down here. I hope that this is okay. Like I saved the big stuff. Like I don't think you would have appreciated a pathway episode, but maybe that's not true. Anyway, I've made a staircase here. I think that this is new. So this is not done, by the way. This bridge is not done because the camel also can just walk right over this. So it's not camel. We're trying to free the camel. You know what I mean? But if we free the camel, we have to understand that he can come all the way down there. He could go all the way over there. He could come down here and then he could just leave. So this isn't finished. The bridge isn't finished. It's just workable for now. And then this, I have to get more jungle wood for this. I made a pond. I just made a pond. It wasn't as hard as I thought, actually. So it's not that deep. I have to decide. It's just terracotta. So I need to decide. I found 4 salmon. I need to decide if I want to make it look like a pond at the bottom. Like, do I put in like sand and gravel and seagrass, or do I keep it as a kind of more of a decorative pond? I need stairs here. I did pathways. Whoa. Why did I feel like I just sort of kept turning. Is my mouse different? I don't know. Anyway. Yeah, I made some pathways to my pumpkin area. Oh, I let a couple chickens loose. Is my mouse? Maybe it's my new mouse pad. It's not a new mouse pad. It's the mouse. I don't know. The egg situation. So I've added a cobble wall here, but of course this is not camel proof either. So I don't know. Can you stack these on top of each other? Am I even close enough to the microphone? I need to start over. I'm just not prepared today to show you everything. Oh, look at them walking together. Oh, I can't start over now because that was precious. They were on a stroll. They were holding hands. You guys saw it, right? We saw it. We all saw it. Anyway, the egg situation is out of control. These are all filled with eggs. This is now refilling up with eggs. And so I just opened the gate and let a few chickens just leave. They were thrilled to leave. This is filling up with pumpkins. I don't know. Is this mouse, the mouse, it's not sensitive enough or something, or it's too sensitive? No, it's not sensitive enough. Anyway, I'm breaking the card rule. Did I say card rule? I'm breaking the cardinal rule of talking about things that I've changed on YouTube because, oh man, I could tell you stories. There's a YouTube creator that I know. Well, I don't know them personally, so like don't try to guess because I don't even think I've ever met this YouTube creator. But I found out that they essentially, their comments are on, but they pay someone to just like approve the good ones only. So negative comments never even get published. Look at the 3 wolves. This isn't like new gossip, by the way. I've known about this thing for years. But you're not gonna be able to guess because I don't even know this person. Oh, someone else I know that I have met was like, I've only met them one time. And they were like, don't ever tell people that you're ending a series because then they'll get mad about it. Just end it and never go back to it. It was like, okay, I'm not going to take advice from any of you guys because it's just creepy. But anyway, the point is I shouldn't be pointing out everything that's different because then people can get mad at something. So anyway, please don't be mean in the comments to me about the keyboard or the mouse. I'm gonna work on things. The microphone hopefully is good. It's the same microphone. I thought about getting a new one and I tested it out and it didn't sound as good as this one, which is crazy because my cabin is not like soundproofed. Like I don't have, plush carpets or soundproofed panels. I'm right in front of a window, so it doesn't make any sense. Anyway, I've added signs. We need to work on our XP grinder. That's going to make it so that we can get the best possible armor and tools. I really want to make a conduit so I can get a sniffer. I need to make a smelting station. That's not really, that's just kind of whatever. I want to seal off the island so that there aren't doors here and it just feels like safe and the camel and the sniffer can just like wander. My mouse. It's just not responsive enough. I'll figure it out. Maybe I'll just reorder my old mouse. This is supposed to be a good mouse, so I think I just have to look into the settings. Anyway, maybe bees. My spyglass tower, and then of course find all the wolves. But the main thing is having the levels with which to enchant. Because I just don't, 11 levels. Oh, this is done, I think. I think this is done. Look at it. I actually stopped the water so that they don't continue to grow because I think I'm quite happy. I'm quite happy with it. I'm not sure I'm happy with like the terraforming on the side. Yeah, I think that could be better. But with the bookcases and all of this growth, I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled. And the amount of comments that I've received about this, I'm going to read the one that, there's so many different comments. But the one that I kept coming back to was by I Scream Says, bubble columns require source blocks. Growing the kelp turned all your flowing water to water source blocks. So to have the water be flush with the cave, there isn't really a way other than using crafted items to stop them, like fencing or trapdoors. This makes a lot of sense to me. If you are someone who is like, no, it is possible, Stacy. Sorry, I got so close in your face there. I need you to like send me a screenshot on social media or something because I just can't keep listening to people that are like, no, it is possible. And then also have people go, correct, it is not possible. Because people are literally like, just pick it up and place it back down. And as soon as the water has an open place to go, if it's flowing down from the top, it hasn't hit the bubble column yet. So it's going to instantly flow out into the room unless these trapdoors are there. That makes sense to me. If you add the kelp, then they all become source blocks. Can you hear the birds? You probably can't. But they're very pretty. Anyway, I get it. I really feel like that's why people use signs. That's why people use doors. Everyone telling me that it's possible is just a little bit like, I can keep playing around. Maybe in the next episode we'll just play around with the bubble column. I need suggestions on the mob spawner though, because I spent a lot of time making this lake. I spent a lot of time making these pathways. But then I spent even more time trying to staircase up from the mob spawner to make this. So when you come over here now, you can come down here. I timed it too. It was taking me like 9 seconds to walk from like there down into the cave to the mob spawner. But I believe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so 7 seconds. I've shaved off 2 seconds. So I'm sorry I'm so chaotic today. I don't know why. I've had caffeine and no breakfast. Oh, I also stayed up till 4:30 working on a video that's not coming out for another week. But I thought maybe it was going to come out sooner, but it's not. Also, I'm watching French Open, so that's like at 3 a.m. I don't want to talk about it. So basically, you know, in the old days of Minecraft, you would make this room maybe smaller and you would put a water bucket. You'd put like 2 water buckets with water flowing towards the front. And then you'd remove all the torches. And then it feels like I'm always in cinematic mode. Like, you'd remove all the torches. And then the zombies would flow to you. You would put like slabs across so that you could hit the zombies, but they could never quite get to you. And then the water would push the XP towards you. I know I could also put, just put magma blocks everywhere, right? I mean, that way of doing a mob spawner was before magma blocks existed in the game. So I could put magma blocks everywhere and then the zombies would take damage from them, but then how do you get the XP? Like, do zombies take damage if there's a thin layer of water on top of the magma? I'm open to comments. I didn't want to proceed with this because I thought you guys would have a good idea. So I just decorated. I just made like green and I added barrels because I'm sure that there'll be like lots of drops. I'm trying to decide if I should try to mess with this mouse now or just in the next episode. Hopefully you guys aren't mad at me for it. Hopefully I just shouldn't have said anything. I would like more moss cobble. We need to find a lush cave. So the idea is like vines, but then all of a sudden it starts to get like moss cobble-y up here and like more concentrated moss cobble and then into green. And then I don't know, it depends on what this is going to be, like what the floor is going to be, if it's going to be water, magma. It has to be totally dark, so it doesn't really, the look of it doesn't really matter. We just need the most XP because that's what's preventing us from just doing some big enchants. Like, I want to fish today, but it just seems like we need to get to 30 levels so that we can do a giant Luck of the Seas enchant on a rod. Not that I even probably would get Luck of the Sea, right? We could try. So I guess I'm going to come through here. Maybe I should have slept again. Now I'm worried that the mouse is going to prevent. I've been using this mouse. That's what's weird right now, is that I've been making all these pathways with this mouse. So to come on the video and go, oh, it feels weird. I've been doing this. I'm going to just get all the copper and smelt it all for the XP, but then I'm mainly looking for coal veins. And I do think I need a lot of copper for this spyglass tower, which honestly, I don't really know why I want to build. It's not really going to do anything. Like, it'd be cool to just have a view of my world from up there, and I think it would look cool on my island. But I don't know that it's really necessary. And if we want to get back up to 30 levels, we should literally go back down to the deep dark. A lot of you guys left me good knowledge about what actually triggers the warden. I didn't know. I did not know that stuff. So that was nice. What else was I going to tell you guys? Oh, this is a lot of coal. Hold on. Can I... Oh, see? No, wait a minute. Something has changed. And I don't know how it would have. Or if it's just... No, it's not just recording. But I literally wouldn't have been able to make all these pathways as precise as I did if I felt loosey-goosey on my mouse. So... It's a work in progress, and I honestly feel like that's the point of this series. Not the point, but like, I'm just moving on from a phase where I am I was never like a perfectionist about Minecraft, but, oh, by the way, I don't think we ever came down here. I put some torches, or is this it? No. There's another cave. Here, maybe? I added some torches down there, but see, there's iron there. We never really went down there. Or maybe it was up here too. No, we've definitely covered there. This is insane. This is insane. I don't know what changed about this mouse because I've been playing hours on this mouse. The point is that I just don't, I have to evolve, and I have to just, like, I love all the comments that are like, thank you for, posting consistently again. I would not be posting consistently if it was like, oh no, I need to figure this mouse out again, and I need to wait until I'm not sad about things in my life, or I don't know what's a better example. I wouldn't be posting this series. So it is what it is. It's different than a lot of my other content, I guess, that I've put up in the past. And so I feel like there will be people that like it, and then there will be people that just are like using this video to just tell me to post something else. So I feel like I've kind of been doing that over the last few years. It's just like, it's not that I want those people to not enjoy this series. It's just that I'm gonna have to just do what I feel like doing. Yeah, this mouse, man. I wonder if it's dying, because it is Bluetooth. So I wonder if that's the reason that I've just had a good experience with it up until today, because certain mice have like an off switch. I've used like a magic trackpad before for like Apple computers, and I always turn that off because it's like, oh, it's going to be a pain if it dies. But this mouse doesn't have an off switch, and so I've been wondering, like, well, how is it? It's gonna die, right? Is it going to sleep if I turn my computer off? So I don't know. Let's have some questions though, because I feel as though I've just been talking about nonsense this whole time, and I can't. This mouse, it must be dying. Report rate. What is report rate? What's DPI when it comes to a mouse? Report rate. Report rate is looking low. So I don't know if it's my report rate. I don't know. I'll figure it out. It's not a big deal. If I stop talking about it, it'll be even less of a big deal. By the way, I was here in this cave. I think I was just looking for like one piece of glow lichen or something. See, this Minecraft music that's on right now, it's like, okay, cool, I've heard it before. It's very familiar, whatever. I played, like a song played in Minecraft. I couldn't even hum it to you. I've never heard it before. And I loved it. I loved this song. And it made me sad. It made me go like, well, why doesn't that ever... I guess it's just, you know, we only have 2 hours together every week. It'll play once, eventually, in this Let's Play, and that'll be a happy episode. Because I loved it. It was so good. It wasn't the one that I have the record disc for. It was totally different. And it was great. I'm gonna probably fall because of this mouse. Hopefully not. Oh, glow lichen right here. I don't think I need it. But I will take it, actually. It hasn't grown on the back of my bookcases. This pickaxe is gonna break. And by the way, this entire, not that we've been doing this for very long, but we just got 2 levels out of this. And fishing gives you levels. So it's almost like we have a mending rod. We should just fish, even though we don't have luck of the seas, because we won't be lucky in our things, but we'll get a lot of levels. We might get lucky with something. And then this is, yeah, I'm being dumb. I literally am like, well, fishing gives you levels and we have a zombie spawner too to get levels, but let's just go mine some coal. It's a sign. It's a sign to stop the madness. I don't know what to do with this. I had to make this area here to, what's the word? To make the lake. And so this is not how this is going to be. People told me to make a waterfall there. I totally agree. It just depends on, does that mean I need to kind of like fill in some stone there, I think. Fill in some stone over here. And then I have to do something with this. This can't stand. And then this underneath here with the dirt looks dumb. I can change this, or I can change it and make the smelting station that we talked about. But it's not, the smelting station is just like, it's going to be just like 5 blocks. So we could just fill it in and then make a smelting station under the waterfall or something. I'm not sure. Okay, let's go sleep. I might sneeze. I think I've done a pretty good job with the lanterns though. Like when you're here in the night, I mean, that's kind of a dark spot right there, but it doesn't feel like I don't see mobs. And this bamboo did thwart some pillagers one time. Like there were 2 raids that happened. One time they were up there and it was perfect. They like could not get through. They couldn't come down. They were shooting each other. They just kind of stood up there kind of going like, what do we do? I also got some podzol with my gold hoe. I got like 10 pieces of podzol from the bamboo forest over there. So this is kind of, the fact that it thwarted the pillagers is sort of it's kind of making a case for extending the bamboo like a little bit. I don't want to go crazy, but like wrapping it just kind of in this whole hill here. Maybe. And then doing like more of a dramatic cliff up there so that they can't run down. And then one time the pillagers spawned over here on this side. So like a spider can just instantly walk over. But the pillagers just stood there and were like, you've thwarted us. So that was nice. I've also been experimenting with like currents and kind of going like, does adding a current, like, does adding more different currents make it less water slidey and more like natural river? Not up there, like right here. This is some grass that I have put in for an eventual sniffer, because you guys told me that they need grass. I loved all the people that were like, well, yeah, the flowers are useless, but flowers aren't useless. So I get it. I do get it. I think the conduit should be out there, because I do believe that there is a one of those ruins where you can get the sniffer egg. Right there. Isn't that it? Right there? I think that's it. So the question would be, I guess, do I need to have the conduit in order to brush the suspicious sand underwater without drowning? Also, I guess the question is, do you have to excavate? Like, can you brush underwater? Can you brush without excavating it and blocking it off? Or do you just have to do that? But also, to get a conduit, that means that we're going to have to go to a sea temple. So it all comes back to levels. It really, really does all come back to having a ton of levels. And yeah, I don't know. Well, we should smelt that. Oh, I found a pufferfish. And I also made a bunch of clay. And I was shocked to put this in and go, let me just make some clay pots. And, oh wait, that is a flower pot. Wait a minute. Oh. Oh. So what do you do with this? Can you put a flower in this too? Stupid mouse. So if I put a pot, like, do I want to put it there or there? Put it there. You're giant! No! Oh, that's not what I expected. Now, what would be really funny is if Minecraft made it now so that if you pickaxe the pot, you just break it. Because, like, shouldn't it be that way? I feel like it should. I don't know. I feel like it should. Because it's, you know, if you were in real life taking a pickaxe, the mouse must be low battery. That must be what's happening here. Am I in trouble for, like, talking about other YouTubers? I hope not. I feel like, oh, it does! It does! That's great! And I bet you didn't get, I'd have to count, but I bet you get less back. I don't know. Is that the case with little flower pots too? Because of course that did not used to be the case. But I would love that if that was the case. Also, where do you put a big pot like that? Okay, let's see. No, that's still indestructible. All right, Minecraft. I mean, you tried. But that's really interesting. Let's, I want to know what you can put in these. I'm going to try cactus. And I guess just like a flower. Okay. I bet you can't put a cactus in the big one. I'm sorry. I don't know anything about this. It's like I put it in the pot and it's in the pot now. Wait, okay, it won't accept flowers. But why was it accepting cactus? I can get more cactus. I'm perplexed by this. Did it not accept cactus? No, it does. What's happening? You guys all probably know. What? What are these? I love them from a decor standpoint. I love them. But it probably has to do with these two. Skull, prize, archer, miner. Wow, this is fun. This is fun because this is like something I just don't know. Let's put our pufferfish down in his new home. Enjoy. Why can't I? There you go. Great. They don't... Oh, great. I was like, pufferfish don't kill salmon, do they? Cute. Uh-oh. Someone might be chopping wood with a chainsaw. Outside. I don't know if you can hear that. Unbreaking, mending. Unbreaking, we literally don't... We could just use this. So, because mending, doesn't mending take our levels? We might as well just have this smelting here too. Nope, nope, that's not what I meant to do. It's the mouse. Okay, let's fish. Let's fish and talk about some other more important, interesting things. Let's see here. Sofinator 2750. Hi, Stacy. I know you've been to a lot of national parks and have talked about your favorites before. I was wondering if you had any tips when it comes to visiting them. For example, is there something I should do to prepare if I don't have a lot of hiking experience? How to avoid big crowds, and how to get the most out of a park visit in general. Thanks so much for the videos every week. They've been making me so happy, and I always look forward to them. I'm going to close this window. Wait. It's a pufferfish. Also, I haven't talked about this chair yet, but this chair is squeaky. And I have a kneeling chair too, but I like this chair better. It's interesting, right? Because I feel like the older I get, the more I feel like I guess I do have advice to offer people who are younger than me. I just never would have in a million years been like, oh yeah, I should tell people how I camp. But it is true that there are people who would welcome that advice probably. And there's a lot of people who would probably go like, that's not how I do it, and I don't think that that's good. But I would say, I mean, listen, there's a lot of different ways to camp in the US. I went to the Eclipse, not the most recent one that was a total. It was like a, what kind of eclipse was it? It was last October, and totality was in, I think it was in Bryce Canyon, which I wish I would have gone there, but I also knew that it was going to be at Great Basin National Park, and I have been to Bryce Canyon several times, and it's one of my favorites, but I've never been to Great Basin National Park, and there's not really a lot to that park. Like, it's a pretty small park, and so with the eclipse being in kind of totality there, I was like, that's a good reason to go to that park. We've literally only fished fish so far, so. And that, I usually try to get a campsite in a national park. There's just something I really enjoy. Oh, we got a Molly dream. We got a Molly dream. She's funny. She woke up early today and now she's like so tired. And she is chasing a squirrel in her dream. So I've been thinking about going on a cruise again recently, which is not something that I have done since becoming quote unquote internet famous. Because there is something sort of unsettling about people recognizing you and not knowing that someone has recognized you. It does kind of put me off of going to a lot of places, like public places. Not that I'm that famous either. I'm not even saying that is what I'm trying to say. It's just that I am famous enough or recognizable enough that one person out of, 1,000 might go like, oh yeah, I know who that is. And there's something kind of strange about going on a cruise and like being locked on a ship for, 7 days and having someone like know who you are and like watching you. Like there's just something about that. It's always a deeply flattering experience when I'm recognized in public and everyone is always so nice. Like I've never been recognized by someone and then been like, oh, you're kind of creepy. Like that's never happened to me, but it just doesn't feel like relaxing is what I'll say. It feels sort of like I don't know that I could be my most like relaxed, just, eating ice cream for breakfast, lunch, and dinner on a cruise ship self. But I think I would like to go. And then COVID kind of scared me off of cruising too. I was like, that's terrible. That would be the worst. Why am I talking about this? Oh, I'm talking about it because there's something kind of nice about a cruise in the sense that you really don't have to make any plans. And that's kind of how I feel about a national park where, a lot of times you have to, if you're going to just go out into like state parks or just like backcountry, you have to really know some stuff. You have to have like a little bit of survival knowledge. You might have to have like a trail app or an actual, map. Should I be an F5, by the way? Sometimes I think I do like to... No. I guess. I think it's crazy that we've only gotten fish. Like, I think that's kind of strange that we haven't even gotten like a pair of leather boots. Obviously, I would like name tags. I would like some enchanted books. I would like... Is this how you get a Heart of the Sea? Or do you have to do that just from killing... Wait. No, you find... I didn't even see what that was, actually. Let's sleep. You find the Heart of the Sea. You make the Heart of the Sea? Is that true? No. You find the Heart of the Sea in the buried treasure chests. And you craft something with nautilus shells that you get from killing drowns. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think that that's true. So I don't know. I think name tags and enchanted books are like the thing that I would hope for the most. Anyway, what I'll say about national park camping is that I kind of enjoy that you can just roll up, pay $20, or get a national parks pass. I mean, that's a tip, right? Because if you think you can go to, I'd have to look, but if you think you will go like twice in a year or 3 times maybe, it pays for itself. There's also days where there's like a day a year or like certain holidays where the admission is free. There's so many national parks now that have changed since I've been there. Like Zion is so different. Glacier's even getting so regulated. If you can camp in the park, a lot of times you will then be able to bypass some of these population restrictions that happen now, where there's like a ticketing system and you have to get a permit to go into the park for that day. If you have a campsite in the national park, then they're just like, oh, you get to come in whenever you want because all your stuff is here. So the reservation system can be quite difficult. Like for Glacier, I know I had to always wake up like 6 months before I wanted to camp and try to get a campsite at like 8 a.m. online at recreation.gov. But if you do that and you get the campsite, it really helps, I think, to like, I know a lot of people that just go, well, we'll just camp. So when I went to the Eclipse, I tried to get a campsite. Oh, we got one. You can fish them. Great. I tried to get a campsite at Great Basin National Park and I couldn't. And so I had to just camp on the BLM land, and that was a fine experience. But I like just sort of the like safety of being inside the park. It just feels kind of more, I don't worry about locking my car. I don't worry about leaving my stuff. What's this song? It's not the song, but it's nice. I think that if you're new to national parks, I think that the greatest thing to do is to go to the visitor center. Because the park rangers there, literally, that's their job. You can just go to the visitor center. They always have usually little exhibits or ranger talks. And that's just kind of a fun, kind of way to just sort of jumpstart. You might be like, oh, this is too touristy and too crowded, but you can go there, you can get a brochure, and you can just walk up to a ranger at like the desk and just say, what hike should I do? Like, these are my parameters. Like, I'm maybe an intermediate hiker, or I'm a beginner hiker, or I would really like a trail where there's no chance I'm going to get lost, or I only want to do a 2-hour hike, or I only want to do a 5-hour hike, or I only have 2 days here at the park, I only have 1 day here at the park, because that's just, they know the park so well. So talking to a ranger is just never a bad idea, because they'll just go like, well, this is like a really popular thing. Or you could say, I want to go somewhere that's kind of off the beaten path and not be in the crowds. What do you recommend? And they're going to know also like just the most up-to-date, like, no, that trail's closed right now. Oh, there's a grizzly that was spotted in that trail. Like, that's not open right now. Or, oh, that had a flood. I remember being at Yellowstone, and we always used to love swimming in, it's a swimming hole called Fire Hole. Well, there's a Fire Hole River, but then there's an actual, like, swimming hole. And for some reason, I think we were up in Mammoth, and we found out about another hot spring, and the ranger that like overheard us and was like, that washed away. We were like, what? We were just about to go there. Because we thought Fire Hole was closed, and then she was like, no, they reopened Fire Hole like yesterday. And we were all like, what? Oh my gosh. And then my whole family went there and had the most amazing time. But we never would have known that if we hadn't just talked to the ranger, because they live there. So it's just like, going to a national park and not talking to a ranger is like, I don't know. Oop. I was going to make some cute analogy, and then I couldn't think of it. But yeah, I love the ranger talks too at night. Sometimes if you stay in the campsites, they have amphitheaters, and I feel like a lot of people don't go to these anymore, and it's so sad because there's like a ranger there who's just like, please come to my presentation about owls, and like 5 people come, and it's sort of like a sad thing. But when you go, it's like, oh my gosh, I'd love to just, it reminds me almost of like going back to college or something, where someone just wants to teach you something, and how rare that is once you get out of the sort of education environment, is that it's like, how amazing that I paid $20 to camp here. And by the way, you don't even have to have a campsite reservation to go to these ranger talks. There's usually a parking lot in the campground that you can just go camp at, or not camp at, go park at. If you're out exploring the national park for the day and you're just driving through, you can go to a campground, any of the campgrounds, and see, okay, are they having a ranger talk tonight? They'll post a calendar. It'll say which talks are on which nights. So maybe that night is not a topic that interests you, but you can just go to those, you know, regardless of whether you're camping there or not. And it's just like, it's so cool. Like, you're going to talk to me for half an hour about owls? Like, great. It's just, I don't know. For me, there's nothing better. There's nothing better. So I don't know if I really answered this question. I feel like, I don't know. I think just, if I had to say some advice, I mean, I don't know. It's, oh, boots. How exciting. Just regular boots. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I camped not often as a kid, but enough times that I kind of learned just about camping equipment and, you know, starting a fire and cooking on a fire and what foods would be good to bring camping and what foods wouldn't be good to bring camping. Just a lot of trial and error. And I think that for me, because I love the outdoors so much, like, I've just never had a bad experience camping, even when I've had a bad experience camping. Does that make sense? I mean, things can go terribly wrong. Like, your tent can leak and your food can burn and you can cut your knee on your hike. And I burned my finger once. Oh my gosh. It was my best friend was planning this bachelorette party for her friend. And I was like, I knew her friend, but we weren't really like good friends. But I knew her, and it was more like, okay, my best friend needs help executing this camping themed bachelorette party. This had to have been like 2009 or 10. And we did it at Shenandoah. And it was like, we got campsites that were all close by each other. And it was sort of like we put up twinkle lights and we planned like a menu and a hike and some activities. And it was just a simple kind of fun time. And I brought my dog Paige. I came more as like the person who, yes, I'm friends with all these people, but it was like I came as sort of the workhorse. Like, I'm gonna, when everyone else is sort of like, you know, waking up and going and you know, getting ready for the day, I'm gonna have already been up and I'm gonna start a fire and like get things going and put out like breakfast, and so that my best friend, who was the one technically hosting, could be more of that sort of like fun host. And I was more of like what do you need? You need a paper plate, you need paper towel, you need a Band-Aid, like, okay, I've got it. Like, let me go out to my car. And I think it was the first night I was making a fire, and I don't even remember what I did, but I did something so dumb and I burned my finger so badly. Probably one of the worst burns I've ever had, where it just instantly like bubbled up. And I remember just like going in the tent that night with Paige and just like almost like holding my hand and like rocking back and forth, like crying. But what's funny about that is I look back and I'm like, oh, that was a great time. Like, what a great camp out. Like, what a fun memory. Ah! You just shouldn't have, you know? You just shouldn't have. I will kill you because I don't know if... Yeah, I don't think I got anything really. And I don't think that drowns are more popular at night, but I'll sleep anyway. I need to eat? No, I don't. Am I sprinting too? Is this... I'm gonna figure it out between episodes. You watch. You watch. Should we bring a dog fishing? I feel like we should bring a dog fishing. This is the point of the series. And that's like a very low stakes thing. Who wants to come fishing? Rachel, Spuds. I feel like Mott. I feel like we have to bring our newest wolf on a cute little adventure. I don't know that I ever really brought Rachel on something. Yeah, come on out. We're going fishing. I guess I could bring all three of you, really. And I don't even have to sit you down, really. Like, you could just be loose. This is fun. It's low stakes. I don't know if you like swim. Watch, Mott drowns. No, Mott, you're not going to drown. Well, come on the dock at least. You want to come on the dock? I don't know. If I had gotten hit by a drowned, like, you would... Maybe you should get on the dock. There you go. Hey. Let's have another question. Hi, Stacy. Can you talk more about your experience with celiac disease and food sensitivities? Does it affect you as long as you obey your body's food laws? It's nice to know I'm not alone in chronic illness. I feel like I've talked about this a lot, and I hope it doesn't bore people that have heard it or don't care. But I didn't know that I was celiac until pretty late in my life, like 30. But then, of course, it was like a huge moment of like, it just was one of those things where like it wasn't a known, wasn't really tested for. I remember going to my doctor in my 20s and going, something's really wrong with me. And this doctor scared the daylights out of me because I was just saying like, yeah, I feel like I have like a digestion issue. Like, and I don't have a typical, like I had a typical celiac reaction in college, which is weight loss. Like my sophomore year of college, I think I lost 80 pounds. Like I was overweight. Like I had 80 pounds to lose. So it was never like, oh my goodness, you're gaunt. But it was sort of like, if I look back, I go, that wasn't, we have such a horrible culture, right? Because I was like thrilled. I was like, this is great. Like I've been working out, like I'm running every day. But it was definitely like no, this shouldn't have happened. But yeah, I went to this doctor in my 20s after college, and she scared me so much. She was like, do you eat a lot of berries? And I was like, yeah. Like I just said, I went to Shenandoah a bunch, and like that's blackberry territory, which is so many seeds. I also love raspberries. And she was like, you have diverticulitis. And I looked diverticulitis up. I kid you not. It's like, if it progresses too far, it's fatal. Like I think I'm going to butcher this medical description, but I feel like it's basically like a little pocket of your intestines. Food can get trapped in a small pocket of your intestines and get infected, and then it can actually like rupture, and then that is like a proceed immediately to the hospital, do not pass go, you're needing a life-saving operation. I'm pretty sure that that's what it is. And I was like, what do I do? like what do you mean? How did I get it? And she was like, you don't eat enough fiber. You eat too many berries and you don't eat enough fiber. And I was so like, what? Yeah, I guess maybe I don't eat enough fiber. And for like years, for like 2 years at least, I stayed so on top of my fiber and cut down on my berry consumption. I kid you not, I bought like Metamucil. I had the fiber oatmeal. This had to have been same kind of time, like 2007 maybe. I was so obsessed with my fiber intake. And I feel like I do a pretty good job now, just like naturally, of knowing when I need to eat like more fibrous foods. But it was because this doctor didn't figure out that I had celiac disease and told me I had diverticulitis from eating too many blackberries and that I was probably going to die if I didn't up my fiber intake. So needless to say, finally figuring out that I had celiac disease was a very like, oh, okay, this explains like so much of my sort of like high school experience, college experience. I don't know if I can trace it back. Like, I can trace it back a little to my childhood. I was such a picky eater, and the dietitians, when you get diagnosed, will literally tell you, like, you were a picky eater because everything you ate was sort of like poisoning you. And so, like, you probably have a lot of guilt for being a picky eater, but you literally were as a child trying to sort of self-diagnose yourself by going, the worst thing about celiac, honestly, is that, like, if foods don't agree with you, you kind of go, well, maybe I should adopt a really bland diet. But what's a bland diet? Like toast, cracker, saltines, like chicken noodle soup, buttered noodles. Like, a bland diet is all gluten. So it's like the worst thing ever. I need to take a drink. Anyway, I have been like completely gluten-free for probably at least 6 years now. And I mean to the point of, like, I don't eat anything if it's not actually labeled or if it just is a food that doesn't have gluten. Like, I don't take any chances. And so it really doesn't bother me anymore. It really doesn't. I hope we can get to 30 levels. And then do a fishing rod enchant. I just feel as though, like, then we'll get down to like 28 levels and we'll just get, Unbreaking 3 or something. But maybe the key is to make a lot of fishing rods and try them out and see if one of them actually just says Luck of the Seas. Davin XI 5185. Thank you for answering my question, Stacy. It's been my dream. So I must have said that before. What did we just fish? I missed it. It's been my dream to have a comment be in one of your videos since a kid, so this episode in particular was super exciting for me. Sorry for the deep dive my comment took the video into. I don't remember what it was. But on a lighter note, oh gosh, what did I... are there any types of foreign food you have tried and liked/disliked? If so, what are they? And what are you looking forward to trying in the future? Oh, that's this is a funny... I didn't put these questions side by side on purpose, but it's really funny. Oh, that was a bow? Power 3! Oh, and we got a Curse of Vanishing Power 3. I have to look into what Curse of Vanishing is again. Because I believe if we combined those two Power 3s to get a Power 4, that we would then have a Curse of Vanishing bow. And I don't know what that means. It's funny that these questions are back to get back because essentially, listen, oh man, we're in for a treat if have I told my Chinese Indian fusion food poisoning story with my eyeballs? I have to have. It's like my best story that I tell people. Anyway, because of the severe food allergies that I have, I also have something related to spice, which is super difficult as someone who's half Mexican. And I've never figured it out, but I definitely have some spice issues and I have the gluten issue. And then I also, just out of my own sort of like ethos, don't eat mammals. I just don't try a lot of new foods because of that. Because I don't think that people understand that if you're celiac and you eat gluten, it can really mess up. I mean, one, I didn't know for the longest time that it can do permanent damage to your intestines. But two, it can in the short term, it can really kind of like take you out for days. Like I've only been like really, like I mean, I spent decades of my life being like kind of glutened all the time. But I think I've found, and maybe other celiacs will be able to attest to this. I've never like actually asked a doctor, but I think I found that like even when I did have celiac undiagnosed, if I ate products that had sort of like the enriched wheat flour, like the bleached kind of processed flours, it wasn't as strong of a gluten reaction as just like pure wheat flour. And so that type of glutening has happened to me. It must have happened to me many, many times over the course of my life. But since being gluten-free and knowing I needed to avoid it, it's probably happened to me like 3 or 4 times. What are you? Wait, this is like a god rod. I'm sorry. Luck of the Sea 2, Lure 2, Unbreaking 3, and Mending? The unbreaking is completely unnecessary, Mott. Let's go sleep. By the way, I realized also that I need to have, like, yes, I need to have some scutes on me for fixing their armor, but I also need to have some kind of, like, dog food on me, too. Whether that's, can you feed dogs fish? I don't actually know. I know how I just, like, locked Mott out of the house for night. Sorry, Mott. Come on. Come back. Here, come to this grassy area. Our dogs are okay with sniffers, right? Anyway, this rod, it's scary to use it without fixing it, but, like, essentially, if it has mending, I believe every time I fish and get a level, it should start fixing itself. Wow. Wow. Minecraft provides, you know? Anyway, yeah, having celiac means that I am not an adventurous eater. I'm not a foodie. Oddly, I do enjoy, like, cooking shows. Did it heal any? I need to pay attention. I do like cooking shows. I do know a lot about food and food technique and different ingredients and different cuisines, but I am not someone who actively seeks out different culinary experiences. My worst nightmare would be going to, like, a chef's tasting. Oh, yeah, it's healing. What? Oh, you're impaled with a fence. Where they just bring out food. That would be my worst nightmare. It's just not fun for someone who has food allergies to try new foods. Because you're always going... Like, right now, I think I talked about this before. I kind of want to get allergy testing. Because I think I had allergy testing in my early 20s. Back when I was trying to figure out that I had celiac. And I was just like... Let me test all my food allergies, and they were just like, well, you're very allergic to pollen. And I feel like they said something about shellfish, and I've kind of avoided shellfish for the longest time. But I think I've had it in the past and been fine, but I really want to figure it out before I go to this trip on to Maine. Not that I don't really eat a ton of seafood, but it'd be nice just to know if I'm presented with like a opportunity to have a gluten-free lobster roll. Oh no, Mott, we're under siege, Mott. Mott, this is very bad. I'm gonna need you to sit down. I do not want you coming into this fight. Okay, no, sit. I maybe shouldn't be doing this fight with my mouse the way it is. I don't choose to be in the fight. The fight has chosen me. And I don't have enough arrows to miss. There we go. I missed. And I'm out of arrows. Very bad. Very bad. I wanted to just put some of our fishing spoils in here. But yeah, I can't risk these guys coming up and killing Mott. Anyway, so it takes a lot for me to try new foods. You know, it just does. But I do enjoy like pad thai. Like that's usually always gluten-free. Ooh. By the way, I have Bad Omen now, and someone was telling me that I spent so long with Bad Omen and I had a bucket of milk. Now, once I got hit by a pillager, even if Mott was sitting, shouldn't Mott have been like, I'll help you? I'm glad that Mott did not. But I'm just saying, shouldn't that have happened? Maybe I was too far away. Anyway, I didn't realize, I thought it was just like if I have this bad omen that I can't go into villages. I didn't realize that there was a chance maybe that things would go badly for me in my life, which I can't afford. I've got a Luck of the Seas 2 fishing rod. So I can't take that risk. Anyway, what did I say? I like pad thai. That's like the most pathetic, like, just sort of, you know, tell me you're not adventurous with food without telling me you're not adventurous with food answer. Yeah, no, I can't be. I eat a lot of very plain food. I don't mean plain like flavorless. I just mean like one ingredient type thing, like things where you just can look at the food and know every single thing that you're eating, and not like an amalgamation of spices and ingredients. And that's purely just because of celiac. Okay, let's get some other things here. Baby EIN. You've been to the Isle of Man? Did I hear that right? Okay, hold on. It says OML. Did I hear that right? And I have to say, I don't know what OML means. Like, oh my Lord, instead of OMG? On my life? Did I hear that right? What's OML? What did I just fish? Salmon? Yeah, when I was studying abroad in England, we lived in London. And it was really fun, actually, because the program that I was in, you had class. So you'd go to class in the house that we were kind of, like, we were in this big center with, like, bunk rooms. But I scored my own private room, which it was, like, a total accident. I'll have to tell that story sometime. But on the weekends, the school would take us, like, around the UK. So they would take us to, like, Bath or Cambridge or Oxford or Canterbury, or I'm saying these things wrong probably. Where else? Yeah, Stonehenge. You know, we just go around different places. They'd bus us like on a Saturday. You'd wake up, you'd get like a sack lunch from the kitchen, and then you'd go see like a touristy site and then come back. But then, so this is a whole semester, right? This is like a January to May situation. Oh no, I still got it. I was gonna say I can't believe we have two mending rods, but we have a mending rod with all these lucks now. It's like literally what I wanted. Anyway, one of the weeks towards the end of the semester, they basically found like all these families like across the country. Like they vetted these families. And it was like, you get to go stay for a week. Maybe it wasn't a week. Maybe it was like 4 days. With this family all over the UK to experience just like normal life. Because obviously living in London, like across from, you know, Kensington Palace, essentially, was not normal. It was not a normal UK experience. Staying in like a giant, you know, kind of old embassy type house. 2 nautilus shells. So there were families just in, you know, 3 nautilus shells. I keep taking my hands off of the keyboard and just like expressing with my hands. So there was there were all these different kind of places you could go. Maybe even like Scotland, maybe, in the UK, but also just like, Surrey, just like just normal suburb type places too. And I got the Isle of Man. Like it was, I don't know, I think it was random, just randomly assigned. And I got this family on the Isle of Man, and I was like, okay, I have to take a flight to I think I had to fly and then boat. And it was the coolest experience. Like, it was so neat. The Isle of Man has its own culture. There's cool cats there called like Manx cats. And there's people believe in fairies there. So there's like actual like fairy, like you'll be driving down. Well, I wasn't driving. I didn't have a car. I had to bike everywhere on this island, which was fine. It was fun. But you would be like biking, and then you would just pass like a bridge or something, and it would be like, well, this is a fairy hollow. And you'd be like, what? Like, what do you mean? Like, I remember talking to the host person who I stayed with and being like, okay, but like, you don't actually believe in the fairies though. And she was like, what are you talking about? Like, of course I do. Like I've insulted her, and it was like, oh, I'm sorry. Like, yes. What? I gotta look this up now, because I don't want to post this if like this has been debunked or like is somehow not okay to say now. This was 2005. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that there were I gotta Google it. I spelled it wrong. Oh, well, maybe it's just one place called Fairy Bridge. A small bridge. Superstition is to greet the fairies while crossing the bridge. It's considered unlucky not to greet them. That's right. I remember this. On the journey south from Douglas or north from the airport. I don't know. This is a thing. I'm not sure if this is just a random Wikipedia page. Oh no! Mott! No, Mott! Careful, Mott! Don't jump in, Mott! Don't jump in! Mott's like, yeah, no, you had it. I'm cool. Mott, I'm gonna sleep, I guess. I'm gonna leave you and sleep. Let me go back to the questions. Anyway, it was great times. I don't know if I'll ever go back. It's one of those things where it's just cool to be able to say that I went there, because I don't know what would ever take me back. There's like a very famous motorcycle race there, I think. Ocarina Hero. Who is your favorite tennis player? Oh my golly. Are there any people that want to hear the answer to this? I'm going to try to make it fast, because I can just talk for a while. I feel like really lucky sometimes to have, and maybe this is silly to say, but like I kind of also grew up in like sort of the Michael Jordan era of basketball. So there are so many amazing players in that kind of time. And then I also grew up in such a cool era of tennis, because like, I got to experience like Venus and Serena Williams like in real time, like as a teenager, like watching them like come up and dominate. And then I also got to be around for sort of like the heyday of Federer, Nadal. Like, I have such great memories of like summer vacations and getting like sucked into, like Wimbledon, and just watching Federer and Nadal, like those amazing matches. And I was always a huge Nadal fan. So I loved watching Nadal, but I loved, you couldn't not root for both of them. Like, I loved rooting for both of them. Like, they just seem like nice people, but then also just like really amazing tennis, like such athletic tennis. And like just kind of, does this make sense that there's sort of like I feel like they're like romantic tennis players in a way. Like, that sounds wrong. I mean that they play with like reckless abandon. Like, there's not like they're not just like executing technique and like some other maybe top ranked tennis players. So that said, I sort of then took a break from watching tennis for a while, and then I've recently gotten back into it, I would say like in the last 3 years, and was super excited about Carlos Alcaraz. Like, I watched him win, was his first major, the US Open that he won, and it was just like, wow, this is incredible. And then Wimbledon. But then my favorite tennis player, a name tag! No! Look of the seas! Mott! Oh my gosh, should we name Mott instead of Rachel? We gotta fish a few more times because that would be really sad. But like, you are my fishing buddy, so it feels right. But also, I think someone told me to spell it with one T because that maybe means word in French. And I had a dog named Paige, but I think I'm going to do 2 T's because it's like modeled. Anyway, I love Jannik Sinner. I love Jannik Sinner and Alcaraz, and I do feel like, hopefully, barring any injuries, that they can become sort of like the next generation of Federer-Nadal rivalry. But I just really like watching him play. And like I watch a lot of other players too. Like, I've been watching like Tommy Paul, Chris Eubanks. I've been watching like I have an eye, I think, not an eye, just experience where I can kind of look at a match and go like, oh, that might be a really good match. So, like, I remember I did that recently with Luca Nardi, and Holger Rune. Well, the other day there was a match between like Luca Nardi and Holger Rune, and I was like, that's going to be a good match. And it really was. So I mostly watch whatever Sinner plays. But I'll watch other people too. Danny's World. Okay, random, but I was just remembering your old cabin vlog and your attention to detail and design. It was ahead of its time for the current cottagecore aesthetic. I'm not fishing right now. Hold on. I remember being 12 and wanting your mini fridge wallpaper and that red seat. Your secluded Snowden cabin has always been my dream. That was just a compliment. Thank you very much. Yeah, there's certain things that I wish I would have done differently. Like, I randomly put like 3 different floorings. Well, there's carpet upstairs, so there's like 4 different floorings in my house, and my house is tiny. So, fine, you want to do carpet upstairs, do carpet upstairs. But then there should have just been one floor throughout the whole house. And I don't know what I was, like, it was literally just, like, me not hiring an interior designer, but also then not really being that available to make decisions because I was so busy doing YouTube so much that I was just kind of like, oh yeah, I need to pick a floor, like, oh this, oh that, oh let me pick this. And I remember someone literally installing the floor that's in my kitchen and them going, like, talking to someone else, and they didn't know that I could hear them. I remember them going like, this floor's ugly. Like, it looks dirty. It looks like it's always dirty. And the other person was like, but that's the brilliance of the floor, is that it always looks like it's kind of dirty. And so, our first enchanted book. What is it? Flame. Yeah, I'll take that. I will take that on a bow. That's great. I remember them saying that and going, well, I like the floor. It'll be good. And sure enough, now it's like my one regret. It's my one regret is that floor. And I wish I would have just chosen wood. But it's nice that I chose a tile because I've had some other like water damage issues. And so I think if I had put wood where the tile is, then that wood would have gotten ruined. I have to tell myself this every day because every day I look at it and go, gosh, I wish I had the money to just change out this floor right now. It bothers me so much. And I think that's not a this year fix project. There's, Molly needs some expensive surgery. And Molly has needed some expensive surgery. Molly had to have her tail cut off, which was like, I think almost $2,000. Molly had to have a ton of dental surgery, which was like, I think $3,500. And then she just had a $4,000 MRI. Like this dog in the last 3 years. Anyway, my hardwood floors are not meant to be. But yeah, I think it would have gotten damaged now I'm like addressing the issues that caused the water damage in my bathroom and my kitchen. And those are like the only two rooms, like those are the only two places that got the water damage. And if I had wood floors in those areas, then the floor would have probably gotten ruined. So everything happens for a reason. Thank you so much for complimenting my aesthetic. I feel like aesthetic has become such a buzzword now. A saddle! Wait, I don't need that. I got excited. I'm sorry. There's another question from the same person, Danny's World, though. And it says, maybe a weird question. Oh, wait, did I? Well, let's just read it. Maybe a weird question, so totally understandable if it goes skipped. Oh no, what did I? It must be fine. Just trying to mix it up. You said at your height of playing MC, you made pretty good money. Do you feel like that sudden change of income changed you at all, or your perspectives on life now? Follow-up question, did it ever feel like a dream? And do you miss simpler times? I thought that was a name tag. When you were a normie like us. That's funny. Oh, there's a hummingbird. I've had a hummingbird and I see him perched up at the top of the branch. Oh, he's been at my feeder. I love him so much. I feel like he's like settling in here for the summer. Hopefully. I got to fill all my bird feeders today. But the hummingbird feeder I think is full. And I just ordered these ones that are like tiny little bottles that you suction cup to your window because I was like, why not? He knows where the other feeder is. But if he'll come to my window, that would be so cute. The other hummingbird feeder I got actually has cute little perches for them so that they don't just have to hover. And it's so cute. Like they really do use the perch. Anyway, did it change? Did money change? Well, I saw a quote from Jim Carrey the other day that was like, I wish that everyone could find fame and money, fame and fortune, to understand that it's not the answer to any of your fulfillment. And that's completely true. It also to me just seems like really like it's complicating. It's very like I had to incorporate as a business. I had to sort of, it was, oh, maybe I don't want that saddle in there. I don't know. I wish that I had made more money because I feel like I never got to the point where I could really sort of like, I shouldn't have said this. This is going to sound so gross. But it's true. Like, I feel like I got to a place where I was like, okay, let me support myself completely. Let me invest in my future. Let me help my family out and, you know, take some burden off of them. But I never really got to a place of like philanthropy. And I mean that honestly. Like sometimes I fantasize about what it would be like to have so much money that you had to just give it away to causes in large quantities. And I think about the causes that I would like make contributions to. I feel like if anything, making a lot of money made me sort of bitter towards other people who have a lot of money, who spend it on just ridiculous, like who evade their taxes. And like I shouldn't talk about this. Yeah, and now I'm back in a very normal area, which is fine. But I do wish that I had gotten to a place where I could just go like, hey, I'm gonna write like a $100,000 check to my elementary school. Like I feel like that would be great. But it does come with a lot of like, it's hard. It's hard to figure out. It's hard to manage. especially if you're just not interested in business at all, which to me, I think myself more of like a writer or an artist than someone who's interested in business. We never get rain out in the mesa, Mott, but of course we get rain here, and I don't know if this is a thunderstorm or not. If I go all the way back up to sleep, maybe we'll just tough out the rain a bit. I don't even know how long I've been recording. This is maybe going on too long. Whoops. I hope I answered that question. Oh, did it feel like a dream? Do you miss simpler times? I do miss simpler times, I think, because you can't actually... We got a chance sleeping. Let's chance sleeping. Or let's just go... See that mouse hover? It hasn't been doing that, so it must be a charge issue. I think, because I've been playing... Obviously, you guys can see that I did a grass patch. I did 80 million pathways. And I did a whole tunnel to my spawner and a pond. And none of this was happening. Well, you know, we can fish in the pond. Sorry, Mott. We can fish in the pond and not... It'd be sad if we kill our salmon. Oh, no, we can't. Look at that. Wait a minute. Because this wasn't mesa? Like the mesa... Did it go into... Some of this was mesa. Like if we go walk... This, I put clay... Oh, look at that. Look at that. Yeah. We can fish right here. Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah, well, I always tell people that one of my favorite jobs ever... Wait, is this answering the question? This doesn't really answer the question. But as amazing as it is amazing to work for myself. And to have my own business. And to set my own hours. I always get so... Oh, man. I get also... This is going to get me in trouble again, too. I get so annoyed with YouTubers when they go on social media and complain about views or, like, the algorithm or different, like, thing. Like, this video. I had to re-upload this video because it didn't get enough views. I feel enraged by it because they're complaining to people who watch their videos who likely have, like 9 to 5 type or like minimum wage type jobs, and you just have such a more privileged place, and you're saying, like, it drives me up the wall that you would ever go to someone who has a certain amount of money that they earn every hour at a job and go, but I need more money. Like, it enrages me. What was I going to say about that? Oh, well, so owning your own business is great, but I really have some nostalgia for this job that I had. It was my first sort of real job where it was at a company. I had my own cubicle. I got, healthcare and 401k matching and all that jazz, but I didn't have that much responsibility at the company. Like, I wasn't, and this changed. I was only at that company for maybe like a year or a year and a half. And then I moved to another company and got a promotion, but with that became more of like someone who had a lot of responsibility, had a company cell phone, had to answer emails, was on big accounts, big accounts where it's like, oh, we're getting, $700,000 in advertising from this job. And so if the client needs to see something on a Saturday, like, that's on you. Like, you can't afford to not answer your email. But that adds a certain level of stress. Ooh, wasn't prepared. Not feeling that lucky right now, by the way. Getting a lot of fish. But this job I had was still at the level where once I left, I didn't have a phone. I didn't have a company laptop. Once I left, there was no way for me to be gotten a hold of, really, or check my email. And it wasn't expected of me. It was expected that when I came in the morning, it was advertising writing. So when I would come in the morning, I would have like emails, or I would have like a pitch, kind of a brief. This was like old school days too, where sometimes it would be like in a envelope, like in a manila folder that was delivered to my desk with a piece of paper that was like, this is your assignment for today, or this is your assignment for this week, is to give us advertising copy for this campaign. It includes these, points. And so I would go into the office like at 7:45 in the morning. I would usually like eat breakfast in the office. There was hardly anyone there. And then I would leave at like 4:45, 5 o'clock. And your evenings were totally your time. And when you leave at 4:45, that's an eternity until bedtime, it felt like. And then the whole weekends were your time. And it was sort of like the last job I had where I completely switched off after I left the job. And there's pros and cons to both, right? It's not fun to just work for another company. But there were some pros because I genuinely did have fun at my job during the day. Did I care about what I was doing? No, not really. But I was exercising my skills that I had learned in college, and I was having fun, and I liked my coworkers, and I also had that freedom of leaving and just completely switching off. So I don't know if that really answers the question, because that's sort of like, it kind of does. Like I miss that kind of a thing. And I also just feel like, yeah, I can't go back to sort of, I put myself on YouTube. And so now for the rest of my life, there will probably be someone who goes, wait a minute. Like some of my videos have millions of views. And so I'm fortunate in that way, but it also is just interesting that forever I will be tied to fishing in Minecraft. That's me. Dilly D. If Minecraft Story Mode came back, I'm really picking at straws with this one. Would you want to be a part of it again? Minecraft Story Mode was a huge part of my childhood, and seeing you on there was so cool. Okay, I see my pufferfish in the distance, but honestly, too real. P.S. I'm a longtime viewer. Love your work. You've made me smile since childhood. That's so sweet. Thank you. If Minecraft Story Mode came back, of course I would be involved. I feel so honored to have been involved in the first place. It was so cool. I wish that it was more, like, I feel like it's hard to play now. I know that they put season 1 on... It was like playable on Netflix or something for a while. But not season 2, which is what I'm in. Yeah, of course I would. Minecraft will always just be such a special part of my life. TommyBoy281, question: what is something you remember fondly that you were able to do for yourself or your family because of the job that you have? Love and support you in all you pursue. I've been a longtime fan. I'm a 23-year-old watching and rewatching now. I wanted to try to contribute a unique question as you requested. Oh, thank you. It's fun to learn about your hobbies and interests. Obviously, without getting too emotional, I was able to renovate my grandparents' bathroom and put in a handicap accessible bathroom, so that if they did have a situation where they came home and had to use a walker or a wheelchair from a hospital visit, that they had that bathroom as an option to be able to get into the shower that is the same sort of bathroom with bars and things, handles, I mean, that would be in a hospital. That was sort of that cost do I want to say, is it okay to talk about stuff like this, I guess? That cost $12,000. And it was something that they fought me on doing. They didn't want to let me do it. And I was able to just like put my foot down and go like, look, I have this money and I want to do this for you. And that was really cool. Oh, this is a better answer, just because it's less sort of like self-aggrandizing. I got to go to Disneyland a ton with the VIP plaid guides that like it was just sort of like a thing that was offered to me, and I did it probably. Oh wait, it's not raining. We can go see Mott. We can name Mott. Let's name Mott. Sorry, Rachel. No, we got to go in order. Right? We got to go in order. Rachel deserves it. I feel a sense of justice here. Rachel. By the way, this hurts me. By the way, during my great pathway building of last week, I killed a wandering trader again. And I had the llamas. I got the llamas in over there. And I was like, yeah, it's fun. It's fun to have llamas. And they despawned. And I had, I found slime. I found some baby slime. And I brought 2 baby slimes all the way back to my house here. And they despawned. So it's one of those things where it's like, do I need a name tag for the sniffer? I'm assuming not. Oh, Rachel, sorry. But yeah, I'm sticking to name tags on the wolves, really, because I don't need llamas. Spuds. Okay, do not. Yeah, I'm scared of this. Get away, Spuds. All right, Rach, do not take the name Rachel. There, Rachel. Spuds and Rachel. Okay. Mott, we're gonna get you a fishing rod. I've got a couple more questions left. So I got to use Disney VIP guides, which I've looked up since. I don't know if it's more expensive now because this was almost 10 years ago that I got to do this. But it's like, I think they're like $800 an hour or something. You can book them just outright. And if you ever go to the park and you see like someone walking around in a plaid vest, that's basically someone who is paid to have a guide. And what the guide can do is take 10 ink sacs. Oh, by the way, I realized that if I wanted to set up an allay down in the cave, I could set up an allay with the glowing ink sacs, because those glow squids die down there in the water and then they drop the ink sacs. Like, we would get a lot. I just don't know. I think you can make like glowing signs and glowing item frames. Glowing item frames I think would be cool, but you have to have leather. So I just was excited to think of another reason to use the allays, because we're good on eggs. We're really good on eggs. Anyway, these guides can do a lot of different things. So they can basically take you to the exit of any ride and just get you right on the ride. It feels so unfair. But it's whatever. It exists and people use them. They can get you sort of like priority seating. I know I was with Stampy and Squishy once, and we just needed to, like, I don't know if we got overheated or we needed a bathroom. I can't remember. But they just all of a sudden opened this door that we didn't even know was a door. And all of a sudden we were just in this like room. It wasn't fancy or anything, but it was just like a lounge room with a private bathroom and a sofa and like a little mini fridge with some bottled, oh, my bad. That was the name tag, Mott. That was the name tag. Just some bottled water and like a few like snacks. And it was just sort of like a emergency hideout in the park. And it was like, oh, great. We'll go to the bathroom and cool down. So I got to do that I probably got to do that like over 10 times. And I took it for granted, really. But one of the things I got to do is I got to take my aunt and my mom. And it was really special because their mom had taken them to Disney back in like the late 50s, maybe early 60s. And my mom loved it, but my aunt is like a Disneyland fan. And so to take her with this plaid guide where you get to just have like the best day ever. You can ride all the rides. Then I remember it was winter and the fireworks were going to happen. And all of a sudden, without even ever talking about it, they just whisked us right in front of the castle to this bench that was reserved. And they put us down on the bench. And then the guide came with a bag and handed us each a Disneyland blanket, like a fleece blanket for our laps. And then this other person appeared out of nowhere and handed each of us a hot cocoa. And it was like, and now the fireworks are about to start in 5 seconds. And you're in the best seat in the entire Disneyland park. And we just looked at each other like, what? Like, this will never happen to us again in our life. And it'll never happen to most people either. Ooh, a book. This is a new enchantment for me. Quick charge? Is that a bow thing? No. Is it? Quick charge. Is that sword what? Okay. Tell me what that is. We have to get some stuff out of our inventory. But anyway, oh! That was really fun. That was a really fun thing. And like, I'm just happy that I got to make that happen for her because, you know, it's like I go to Disney now too. And it's completely changed the way that I experience Disneyland. Like I just kind of go and I don't care about the rides. I just like, you know, people watching and eating food and that kind of thing. But it's one of those things because the only thing I didn't get to do is I didn't get to ever go to Club 33, which is fine with me, honestly. But I got to go into Walt's apartment above the fire station. I got to ride the the Lily Bell caboose on the train. I got to basically sleep over in the park and go at like 2 a.m. to this building. I think now that building is like the Avengers store or something. But anyway, I got to do a lot of cool things, and that was sort of like a fun, I'm glad I got to do that. It was just a crazy experience. I wish I would have taken more pictures. You didn't really do that, I guess. It's so interesting to me, like how much we've now started taking pictures. Like when I grew up, this is a tangent, but when I grew up, Sharpness 3. This is great. When I grew up, you would take, you know, it was film. And so you would take pictures of like birthdays or like the first day of school or a family vacation. Yes! Mott! Yes! Yes! Whenever I gasp, I have to instantly take a drink of water. That was embarrassing. I literally was like, it was like rubbing your stomach and patting your head at the same time. Like I took my hydro flask and then was like, I gotta do this. What one was that? Oh. Okay. Why didn't we just fish 11 episodes ago? Power 4, Punch 1, Unbreaking 3, and Infinity. So I don't even know if you could put a mending book on that. If not, I guess you would want to maybe try to put the flame on it. If you got another Power 4 book, like a Power 4 Unbreaking 3 book, maybe it might be too many enchantments, but that would get you like Power 5 Unbreaking 4 Infinity and maybe Flame, which I'd be very happy with. I don't know. We've got work to do, and we're gonna need all of the levels of like, it's fine that we still have like the spawner and stuff because we're gonna need so many levels to just use these books and combine things. Wow, guys, this was so amazing. Anyway, what was I talking about? Drinking water and patting my head? No, I was talking about something. Oh, cameras, right? It's just interesting to me because then also like we've got digital cameras, but the pictures weren't very good quality. So like a lot of people still use disposable cameras or film. There's like a whole decade lost, in my opinion, to like digital, like digital photography, where it was like this camera has 2 megapixels. But now, even just noticing the difference between how many pictures I take now in the last, I would say, 5 or 6 years compared to even just at 2012, 2013, 2014, I did not take that many pictures then, even though camera phones were better than I do now. And I don't know why that is. Okay, I think we only have 2 more questions. Was that another rod? No. This isn't, no, this is the comment. Oh. As long as you don't have a trident, you know? A 3 hit. I can't believe people were giving me such... They were like, why? Why are you using a gold mending rod? All of your XP, no attack damage. How can it be episode 11 or episode 10 and you're using this gold mending rod? I'm sorry. Look, we're getting good stuff now. BCT611. I like how Stacy is openly... This made me laugh. I like how Stacy is openly saying she's on the fringe of being financially unstable. If you charge a monthly fee like most books or any kind of general clubs, it should pay for itself. I appreciate transparency instead of keeping the YouTuber mentality lifestyle. That's funny. Yeah, no, I mean, honestly, if I like bring back my Patreon or something... I'm gonna like re-update the tiers or something and have like a Molly's medical bill tier or like just pet medical. Like she's just done a number on me and I'm a sucker. I'm a sucker for this dog. I love her so much. Okay, this is the last question. Sharpie Green 13. Been watching since before you had a channel when we had to convince you from Joey's comment section. I love you so much. Question for you. Do you have an IRL community living in the mountains? Do you miss it if not? That's an interesting question. I don't think that I do. I have a very good relationship with one of my neighbors. Living where I do, I'm somewhat close to family. But I wouldn't say that I have a community in that sense here in my actual location. And I don't know that I would say that I had one in Los Angeles either, really. So I think it's something that I would like, but I also feel like, you know, I'm kind of in that in between of like, I do enjoy having a real community, but I'm also very... Oh my gosh, we got another name tag! I was going to say I'm very introverted and I do enjoy, like I know a lot of people younger than me are all about their internet friends. And like I am too, to a certain extent. So like I have like a friend from college that I will just randomly pick up the phone and call him. And vice versa. Mott, you get named. We could name Robin. It would be my dream. But also, it's kind of my dream to have, like, the name tags and the armor for, like, future wolves. I didn't realize name tags stacked. So, we would need... I mean, hopefully none of you die. But we would need... How many more? Is there... I always get this confused. It's 8. So 5 more name tags. 5 more name tags, and that would then We didn't get to 30 levels, but honestly, this was so productive. This was so productive. And we're going to name Mott. We'd need 5 more name tags, I think, before I would then... Oh, I just thought I heard a drowned. Then I would consider naming Robin. Is that mean? Should I just be like, no, trust in the process? Like, you'll find name tags later. I just imagine Robin, like, sighing and, like, looking out over the desert and just being like, the villagers would have name tagged me. Mott! Ah! You guys! Rachel, Spuds, and Mott! Huey, Dewey, Louie! You guys are... Ah! I'm so excited. This is so great. Okay. Thanks, guys, for watching. I will see you later. Hopefully I should have said everything that I said today. I love you so much. See you next Monday. Until then, Paige and Molly love you. Go rescue a dog.